Hello there and welcome, my dear friends. I'm so excited. Today I want to start a new quest with you. Our power thoughts. Isn't this a promising title? It is. And we have a lot of things to share. Oh yes. And as you already know, the topic of this quest are our thoughts. Everything starts here. When I ask you, what do you do the most every day? Probably you might know the answer. What are you doing the most, in the most frequent way during a day? The answer is easy. Thinking. Today we know, on a normal day, we think 60,000 thoughts. What else do you do in a frequent way? Breathing. Yes, but less. You have 60,000 thoughts a day, but you're just breathing 20,000, 23,000. So imagine 60,000 thoughts a day and 20,000 breathings during the day. And some of these breathings happen during the night. But the thoughts, they're where you are awake. So this means, do you get $60,000 a day? Some people, yes, but not a lot. But you have 60,000 thoughts a day. This means when we calculate 20,000 breathings a day, this means in normally 50 days, you are a breathing millionaire. You get that 1 million breathings in normally 50 days. And our thoughts? You get a thought millionaire much quicker. In 17 days. In 17 days, you more or less had 1 million thoughts. And we all know, everything starts with a thought. What we realize over our antennas, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, all this becomes a thought. Our memories, when we remember, they are thoughts. And our thinking process, we know this and we know this, and we combine, we evaluate, we make a film in our head, and everything starts in our mind. And this produces our actions, and later our actions results. We all know this, but are we really aware of this super big potential? 60,000 thoughts a day. And a thought is something that is tangible. For example, we have our awareness. Our awareness is something that we have. But a thought is something that we make. Okay, the more you think, your awareness is also expanding. But the awareness is your mental constellation in a certain time. But your thoughts is something that we make. For example, our voice. We produce a sound with our mouth. We want to express something and we talk to other people. I talk to the camera right now, but I can talk to myself. I can talk to the camera, and we can talk to other people. And the way we talk brings a lot of good or bad things in a relationship, in school, at work, wherever we go. But the voice is made by us. And a thought is also made by us. And as a thought, is our creation. We can choose which thought we establish. Or we see something and then we can turn around, or see something and we say, realized. And we go in another direction. What we see, what we hear, this comes in like antennas. This is reality. But what we do with it, this is our choice. And as we are dealing with 60,000 thoughts a day, there's a big potential. I said to you, in 17 days, you are a thought millionaire. It's hard to make $1 million. This might work for some people, but not for a lot of people. But in 17 days, you produced 1 million thoughts, more or less. And imagine, as a thought is a creation. It's not happening. It's not just there. A thought is something that you do, like the voice you produce. So we can choose how long will we turn around a topic. When it's a positive thought, stay be long enough. Or when there's suddenly a negative thought, we can see something, we can hear something. And then we can decide, will we stay with this thought? Will we increase this in our mental awareness? Will we make a complete story, a film in our cinema in our head? Or do we say, no, I don't like this. I go in another direction. And we all should be really aware. And this is something that I want to give you here in video number 1 of our power thoughts. We should be really clear as we choose our thoughts. The more we choose a certain direction, the more we think in the same way, this will build a belief because we think this is true. And then when we think this is true, then we act like this. We behave like this. Thinking once is not a problem. But when you repeat your thought over and over, it becomes a belief. And when it becomes a belief, it becomes your own rule. Because you say, I believe this, and from now on, I will trust that this is true, and I will continue to think like this. And we always should be aware. And this is what I want to share in the video number 1. Please be aware. It's not just, I had this thought and I keep thinking this thought and I keep thinking. No. As this can become a belief, it can become a habit. We should be aware that every thought we have is a prayer. It's not just thinking something. You are focusing on this. Every thought, let me repeat this, is a prayer. As you deal with this inner sentence, and even worse when you repeat it, it is a prayer, and the prayer gets more and more focused. So always remind yourself, what you are thinking is what you're praying for. What you always repeat in your mind, this is what you want to attract. Because you are focused. You're praying for this. You're begging for this. And all this happens in your mind. You hypnotize yourself by your thoughts. And when you are hypnotized, you always go in this direction. And when we make it over and over, this becomes a habit. And then you do it automatically. And this is the big problem. So many of our thoughts are already habits. And as long as we follow them, we go the same way. And when we go the same way, we will always meet the same people, the same trees, the same food, the same houses, the same actions, the same results. This is the problem. Don't underestimate the power of your thought. Every thought is a prayer. And when you do it repeatedly, you insist on this prayer. Whatever you think, I want this so much, because you are focused on this. This is so essential. We have to be aware. So many things we make automatically, but we should be clear what we are doing. There's only a new way when we think different first. And the good thing is, you are not forced to think like this. You can choose your thought. Even when something bad happens, you don't have to think like this. You can say, okay, realize, but I think something else. It's your choice. You can do this. And remember what you think. Your thought is your prayer. You're praying for this. Thinking all this, I want to have this. Yes, this was the introduction of our new quest, our power thoughts. Do you have some ideas, some experiences, some expectations? Write them in the comments. We had the cinnamon quests, we had the bay leaf quest. They will still go on. When I get new ideas, there comes another video. But today came the inspiration. We should start the new quest, our power thoughts. Isn't this interesting? This is the most action that you do during your daytime. 60,000 thoughts. Imagine this immense potential. And you can choose. You think even more than you inhale and exhale. Nearly 3 times more thinking than breathing. Yes. And in 17 days, you are a thought millionaire. Okay, thank you so much. I'm eager to read your comments, and we will meet us in the next video. Bye-bye.